Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Courtney and I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. And today I'm here with a video that I don't know if it will be helpful, but I thought I would make it anyways. So I made a mistake recently on eBay and I woke up and I've had a pretty rough morning because item that I sold for a couple $100 got to the person, they sent me a message, I woke up to it, and apparently the item arrived damaged. And backstory, am relatively new to selling hard goods. I've only in the last few months been picking up hard goods to resell on eBay. I'm not that knowledgeable in shipping, and I'm sure you'll find out soon enough how that's the case. I'm also not a big online shopper, so I don't receive a lot of packages. And why is that? Because up until I bought this house, I lived in apartments where UPS and FedEx could not get into leave packages. And so I never ordered them because I didn't want to go across the city to pick up packages. It was just a nightmare. So I just have never been an online shopper. And I think I've got some decent common sense, and I think I try to make the right decision when I'm faced with a decision to make. But clearly in this situation, which I'll explain, I made a bad call, and I don't like making mistakes, but I do like learning from mistakes. And I thought if I'm learning from this, I could share with you guys, and maybe it could be helpful for someone else. So first, before I jump into what happened, I would just like to say I'm not making this video to get tips or advice on what I could have done differently. I beat myself up over this all morning, and it's been a rough morning, and I've been doing a lot of research, and I think I'm better prepared for future situations of shipping anything similar or fragile. So I'm not making this. I do always appreciate comments, but I'm not making this specifically for help. So what happened? I sold an item recently. It was a pepper grinder salt combination. It was a rare Dansk teak wood piece, and it was actually in a haul video. I don't remember which one, but I picked it up at the bins. I thought maybe at the time I could get $30 or $40. A viewer actually sent me a message and said, you might want to charge higher or do some more research because I think that's more valuable. They were correct. I decided to throw it up on auction and started at $99. I did, and in 7 days, it had a number of bids and got up to $203 plus shipping. It made my whole month. This is kind of the summer slowdown. I think a lot of people are feeling it, and just having a $200 sale on something that I spent $1 for, it made my month. So I was going to wake up the next morning, get all my packages ready, and that was one of them. I was looking around my house for a small box, and I couldn't find one that would work quite right. And I had a couple that were much bigger. I had one that was a bark box. Luna got a bark box recently, and but it was heavy and it was pretty big, and I thought, well, this is unnecessary. I've never been an online shopper, but I have seen people in my Facebook or my friends and family post pictures of, I can't believe I ordered this small thing and I got it in this giant box. And so I feel like a lot of people talk about the over packaging of things. And so in my mind, I didn't have the right size box. I had stuff to do that day. I needed to get my shipping done. So I decided I'm going to wrap this in some bubble wrap. I had some thicker of the bubble wraps, like the thicker kind that come in Amazon, and the strings with I had some of that, and I decided, okay, I'll wrap it in a thin layer of bubble wrap. I'll wrap it in the thicker bubble wrap, and I'll put it in a bubble wrap envelope. And in my mind, one of my favorite people on Instagram, Casa Chic, she posted something recently. She's always got tips of the day. And she posted something, be prepared if you're shipping something that it will be tossed out of a 9-story building or something. I don't remember the exact quote, but basically trying to say your package will get tossed around. And in my mind, I'm looking at this package, and it's life in a bubble. This pepper grinder for the next couple days is going to be in a bubble. And in my mind, it was secure. I honestly, looking at the pictures, and I will insert pictures of the damage, I don't know how this is even possible. The way I wrapped it, the way I taped it, I could see looking back, some damage happening, but the tip on this pepper grinder was not sticking out a tall way. I don't know how this happened. And I don't want to stress over it because I can't go back in time. But I woke up this morning, 6:30, and I have a message from a buyer who said he received it and it was damaged, and he included photos. The reason it's always hard to wake up to a message that's not positive, and there was a little bit of scolding, which he probably was looking at this going, why did this person not put this in a box? Again, in that moment, I felt that you could throw it off a 9-story building and it would be fine. That's how secure I thought it was. But clearly, I don't know what happened. The tip broke off, shattered. I'm bummed. I'm bummed that I didn't take more time to find another solution. I'm bummed that I disappointed a customer on eBay. I'm disappointed that I ruined this very rare item that is valued, right, at least on eBay auction, at a couple $100. I'm overall bummed. However, I want to learn from it. And so all morning I've been doing some research. So 2 things. He did say, I wanted to contact you first, before leaving feedback, which I appreciate. That is huge. He didn't contact eBay. He didn't leave me negative feedback. He just contacted me. He did ask if there was a possibility to get a partial refund. So I responded to him, and I take emotion out of it because I can't go back in time, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm not going to apologize profusely. I will say I'm sorry, but here are the 2 options. I can give you a full refund. I can send you a return shipping label so that you can return the damaged item. Why would I do that? Because to be honest, maybe it is repairable. Maybe I could sell it damaged online for significantly less, but kind of recoup some of my money. And, or just keep it, maybe I just have kind of a damaged, cool pepper grinder and it's got a story and a lesson to be learned, a reminder. So I gave him that option. I gave him another option of I can also give you a partial refund if you'd like to keep the item, but please let me know what you would be satisfied with. And then I did jump in regarding the shipping because there was, again, a lot of questions of why on earth would you ship it this way? I did just leave a brief comment of I did feel the packaging choice that I used was quite secure. I do apologize that the item received is damaged, and just kind of left it at that. Again, it's business. There's loss in any business, and I'm prepared for it, and I need to learn from this so I don't make this mistake again. So that moves into what I would do differently. So with this item, I didn't think of it as too fragile. So mistake number 1, I didn't see it as that fragile because it wasn't glass, it wasn't ceramics, it wasn't something that in my mind was easy to break. So that's the first mistake, is basically I'm going to probably treat anything that isn't clothing, even clothing could be damaged in the shipping process, but obviously that's a little bit more soft, but I'm going to treat anything as fragile, even if it's not glass or ceramic. So that's the first thing I would do differently. Second, I would change is I would use a box. I did file a claim with USPS. However, I'm not optimistic because I didn't use a box, and everything I'm reading online, although not 100% clear, everything I'm reading online is that it should have been in a box. And so I did use priority shipping because there is some insurance, although $50, I thought at least it's insured somewhat if something goes wrong. So I would insure more, use a box, and regardless of if I think it's that breakable, treat it as if it's breakable. Another thing he asked is why didn't I use any fragile word on the outside? I guess I've seen people make jokes about when they write fragile on things, it's almost like they get thrown around even more. And I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I will definitely consider those types of options. Is what could I do to make sure, almost like what I've seen people, and I thought they were going over the top, almost just now become over the top and I think that's probably how a lot of people learn. They have a situation like this, they lose money, and okay, how do I prevent this from in the future? So USPS does have insurance. I believe it's $50 on priority. You can add more or additional insurance. They do have boxes they provide. I just didn't have one quite the right size, but I would definitely use a larger size, more bubble wrap. You could also put a box in a box is something I've read, and so that's just an extra level of protection. The claim process is very easy online. Again, I'm not too optimistic. But again, I'm really bummed. If you are new to hard goods, I now understand the hard way of why people talk about shipping and how to package things so much. There's a reason for it. And I don't know what this package went through, but I don't know how this item was damaged, but it was. And I just want to make things right for the customer. And I just want to learn from it and move on. So anyways, I hope this was somewhat helpful in explaining my lesson that I had to learn the hard way. Again, I'm not looking for, I've spent all morning looking at all the things I could have done differently. So I'm not necessarily looking for advice or tips, but I do hope by sharing this experience that maybe it can help someone else look at shipping hard goods a little bit differently and maybe think twice to potentially making the same mistake I made. And yeah, so anyways, if this was a helpful video for you, or if you just want to lift my spirits because I'm feeling pretty bummed, hitting the thumbs up will let me know that I should share these types of experiences. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.